At Hashem, we're learning now about the two periods of the days of the Moshiach, page Reish and Tes. The two periods in the days of the Moshiach according to chadsidus. What's the difference between the first period and the second period? So we explained the first period is going on the level of the pleasure that you can understand. The second is the higher level of the Tainug Atzmi, Abulti Murkish. Another way that Rebbe explains it is that the first period of the days of the Moshiach is going to be revealed the light of God that was revealed before the chadsidus, and the second period in the days of the Moshiach is going to be revealed the new light that was never shining ever. The third thing that we started learning yesterday is that there's two levels of peace. The real idea of peace means that their enemy doesn't exist at all. Not only that you win over your enemy and you have victory, but that's not true peace. Why? Because if there's still an enemy somewhere out there in the world and you do not nullify that there's no more enemy, so even though let's say you won him over, but you can't be sure that he won't come back and re-conquer you and rebel against you, etc. But when there's no more enemies at all, that is the real idea of peace. That's why in the Geula it says, if you ever pay attention, we say two things by Aleinu. On one hand you say, Hashem yimloich lo'olam v'ad, God will be a king forever. Right after that, what do you say? V'hoya Hashem l'melech al kol ha'oretz. Pa'im ha'uyi Hashem b'chodesh me'echad. Because Hashem is going to be a king over the whole entire world, and no one in the world will rebel against the Eibush. The whole world will accept the Eibush to be their melech, their king. They themselves are going to want the Eibush to be their king. The whole world.
Kingdoms or democracies, it used to be Moshiach.
Right, exactly. So first, Hashem Melech, that's the main thing. Moshiach is going to make the Eibush to be a king over the whole world. But the whole entire world will accept the Eibush as king. There won't be one place in the world, one island or something where people won't accept the Eibush. Because if there is such a thing, then how do you know that maybe one day these people are going to get up and they're going to rebel against the king? So once you conquer the whole entire world, the whole world is only going to be one king and one name of the Eibishter, then that promises and makes sure that Hashem Yimlich Lo'olam V'ad, God's going to be a king forever and ever. Understand? So in the days of Shlomo was considered peace because the enemies weren't there, but nevertheless there's certain parts in the world that are still bad there, whatever, so it wasn't complete peace. When is going to be peace? So another thing we're saying is the first era, the coming of the Moshiach, there's going to be peace, but because there's still going to be bad in the world to a certain extent, even after Moshiach comes, and the first period of the days of the Moshiach start, it will not be full peace. When will be full peace? The second period of the days of Moshiach, when then there'll be no evil in the world at all the evil will be totally demolished, and then
evil as a concept is going to be gone?
Yes.
So the concept of evil is going to be totally erased.
Exactly. Evil, impurity. And therefore, there's going to be real peace, which means nothing against Hashem, nothing against Moshiach.
It's going to be mamish better than Gan Eden.
100%. Exactly. Because in Gan Eden, for example, Adam Rishon, right. So in the beginning of Gan Eden, when Adam Rishon was there, everything was good, but there was bad in the world. And that even made a possibility, there was bad, that gave the possibility for chadsidus, even though the bad was so to that compared to the first period of the time of Moshiach, mainly. There could be that there's bad in the world, but it's going to be separated from the good, and not necessarily it's going to affect the Yid, but that's not complete peace. Therefore, there's going to be a wild animal still, for example. There'll be wild animals. The wolf will not lie with the lamb then in the first period, literally. But in the second period, it will live peacefully with the lamb, because it will totally take away the bad from the world. Okay, page Reish Nun Tes. We're up to the base. Now the Rebbe is going to explain. To explain this concept more, even though this idea of being redeemed in peace was already in the days of Shlomo Melech, the most complete sense of Being redeemed in peace is going to be in the days of Moshiach, and in the days of Moshiach itself, this is going to be the second period of the days of Moshiach, the second Tkufa. Yovon mizashem avar ba maimer de kamal de sekatera achshav nasa b'dir b'shalom. Kabir shal de sekatera b'chinas bittul hara ba'etzem. To explain this, we're going to need to explain another idea. The Mittel Rebbe explains a guy can have a Yetzer Hara, can have bad desires, can have a war going on in himself, in his system. How does he redeem himself with peace? Peacefully redeem himself, which means that it totally nullifies the enemy, that you don't have an enemy b'chlal. It's not that you have an enemy and you win him over, but your enemy gets totally bottled. That is through learning Torah. A guy can do mitzvahs, a guy can give tzedakah, a guy can do anything. But when through someone learning Torah, that is the real idea of being redeemed in peace. Why? So the Mittel Rebbe explains, he uses the term, when someone learns Torah, that causes bitul hara be'etzem. This nullifies the evil from its core, from its essence. There's no evil when someone's learning Torah.
What does it mean, Tamshich Yerushalayim B'Kiyuma?
Where?
In 47.
Lahoyer Mizair Chelak Aleph, Talde Ezek HaTorah, Tamshich Yerushalayim B'Kiyuma. Tishleim Rakavanim is a Shinserich Ba'oid Mashahu and Befrat Milchama. It says in Zayar, through being Isaac in Torah, it will keep Yerushalayim in its existence. Yerushalayim will stay existing, which means, what's that meant to mean? That you will not need to fight any war to keep Yerushalayim, that it should exist. You're not going to have army men, you're not going to need to guard Yerushalayim. The Torah, through learning Torah, this nullifies the bad, the ra, which means through learning Torah, Yerushalayim is going to stay existence, which means you're learning Torah, it's mavatal the ra ba'etzem. So when someone's learning Torah, it's mavatal his ra ba'etzem. Like it's explained in many Maimorim, the difference between learning Torah and davening. What's the difference? When someone wants to refine his animalistic soul, so when he's doing it through davening, this is called a war. In Zohar it says the time of davening is a time of a war. Why? Because you're getting rest inside the Nefesh HaBahamis. The point of davening is to awaken a love for God, even from the animalistic soul. So what do you need to do? You need to go inside his levushim, which means you need to explain him. You're saying Psukkah de Zimra. You're saying, look how great God is. He created the whole world. He created mountains. He created trees and birds and fish and animals and whatever, and you heavens and you're learning all about it. So this is meant to inspire the Nefesh HaBahamis to love the Eibishter. But you're like convincing him when you're davening, exactly, because you're showing him how great the Eibishter is. So why? Because you're being mislavish. The Rebbe is going to say in a second. Let's continue. But through learning Torah, that's not the point. The point is you're learning the Eibishter's Torah. The cleansing of the Nefesh HaBahamis through Torah is in a way of menucha. And I'm going to explain a little more. The fighting a war in a way of fight to nullify. There's two ways of nullifying the Nefesh HaBahamis, the cleansing. One way is through a war, and one way is through peace. I was explaining, what does it mean it's through a war? It means that the one that is trying to cleanse the Nefesh HaBahamis has to go inside and get dressed inside the Nefesh HaBahamis. He has to engage with the Nefesh HaBahamis. It's not so regarding a bitter through in a way of menucha, in a way of peace, in a way of tranquility. The one that's cleansing and clarifying, he's staying in his place. He's not going to the enemy to go wrestle with him. He's staying in his house. Like Shlomo Melech, and then he has some machine and he's pressing bombs, I don't know, that fall out and just kill him. He's not going to fight one-on-one. Like the Rebbe said actually in Gaza, or not in Gaza in general, that the army men should not go inside and have this foot war, house by house, hand to hand, crazy war. So the Rebbe says you're putting these soldiers in for no reason. The Rebbe says, what do? You have you let everyone know in 5 minutes this whole place is being bombed. You want to live? Get out of here. You don't want to live. It's not my fault. I gave you a heads up. And then 5 minutes later, you just drop a bomb on that building. Like that, you don't need to go in and fight with anyone. Whoever stayed there, it's his problem, not your problem. You gave him a chance to leave. So the bitter b'derech menucha means you're going down, you're wrestling with the enemy. The bitter b'derech menucha means you're in your place, and you're being mevatel that abatzim. Through the revelation of the light of the one that is being mevatel, the one that's cleansing his light, he shines a very big light from where he is, and that already affects his enemy and it lights him up, and then he shouldn't be his enemy anymore. Like the Rebbe is explaining, like it was in the days of Shlomo HaMelech. The Shlomo HaMelech stayed in his place. He didn't go outside of his palace to go fight against his enemies. Through this, that they heard in very far places all over the whole world, they heard about Shlomo HaMelech's greatness. All of his enemies and all these people, they were drawn to him on their own, without him needing to go down there and fight them and convince them and make them become his slaves or something. His great name was spread out all over the world, and they came to him. So that is cleansing and clarifying and being mavaded in a way of menucha. Like it says, the queen of the nation of Shva heard you heard the rumors all about Shlomo HaMelech, and she came to Yerushalayim. Which means he didn't go down there, he didn't convince, he didn't anything. His great name was spread out all over the place, which means his light was spread out, and that drew them on their own right. This is the same difference between cleansing the animalistic soul through Torah or through davening or through Torah. Cleansing the nefesh hamis through davening is that the godly soul gets dressed inside the animalistic soul. Like it's known that when someone is contemplating and thinking over the greatness of God in a way that it should affect his animal soul, and that should also love God, he needs to think about things that's going to cause the animal soul to be inspired, and also and it should understand these type of things.
Explain it to the nefesh.
That it should understand. The guy is thinking about that. He should also understand, and it should want to start to love Hashem. But when someone is learning Torah on its own, it does this bitter on its own without him needing to deal with the bad.
Is that only in Nigla?
So here's what I was going to explain. Here's what I was explaining even in Nigla the Torah. Even when a guy is learning Gemara, a guy is learning Halacha, this is prohibited, this is not prohibited, that automatically separates the bad from the good. A guy knows what to do, what's good and what not to do, what's bad, and that automatically pushes away the bad on its own without him needing to deal with the bad. Gimel v'hinei ba'abiru de Torah yesh chiluk bein abiru shadei galdi Torah la'abiru shadei pnimis Torah. In learning Torah itself, there's a difference between someone learning the revealed part of Torah or learning the inner part of the Torah. Abiru shadei limud galdi de Torah tzarech liyes halimud bein yonim edo shetzirichem lavaredam. So when you're learning the revealed part of Torah, you're also learning about such things that you need to be mavaded, which means you need to be mavaded certain things that are not kosher, that are not true, that's tainus shel sheker. It's in order to clarify those things. These gashmistic things that the Torah is dealing about.
They're worse than Dvarim HaIsorim.
What?
That's
Tainus shel sheker are worse than Dvarim HaIsorim, right? You have a Davar Asur, but that's on its own. Sheker is much worse, right? All that is explained in Tanya Perich of Dalit. Yeah. וזאג שגם הבירה של דגל דתרין כרבל שם בירה בדרך מנוחה המפני שגם עניינים אלו דברים אסורים וגם תיינס של שקר כמו שהם בתורה עם תורה סמס כיוון שגם דברים אלו שבתורה הם דבר השם, עלי כדברי כאש, מה איש חולו, אף דברי תורה מקבלים תומו חול. הרי שהתורה היא תמיד במקומו מדרגה, so דבר הוואי והבירו בדרך ממילא. So the bidur that's done through the revealed part of Torah is called also a bidur b'derech manucha. When a guy is learning Torah, even if he's learning Gemara or he's learning Halacha, he is cleansing his nefesh bahamas in a peaceful way. Why? Because what do you learn? So on one hand, what are we saying? You're learning Torah about things that are usher. You're learning about things that are sheker. You're learning about all these negative things. Nevertheless, so that's on one hand like a shtickle problem, a shtickle not menuchadik. But in the end of the day, it's considered menucha because what are you doing? You're learning Torah over here. You're sitting in your base medrash, in your koilel or wherever, and you're learning Torah. Even if you're learning about bad things and negative things, but it's all part of Torah. This is the Eibishter's Torah, which Torah is compared to fire. Just like fire isn't the makabel tumah, right? The guy that's tummy is going to touch a fire is going to become tummy. The fire is going to become a tummy fire. No. So to Torah doesn't make a difference what the Torah is talking about. Even it's talking about the most disgusting things, but it's still Torah. The Eibishter's Torah, which is not makabel tumah. Harisha Torah, he told me to be Torah, no matter what, is God's words, and it cleanses and clarifies and purifies automatically, without needing to totally go inside the nefesh bahamas. By davening, you're totally much more going inside the nefesh bahamas. By Torah, you're not. You're learning the Eibishter's Torah, and it's talking about these negative things, and it's mevader those things. It's elevating those things, and it's clarifying to you what's good and what's bad. And through this, that bad thing, its purpose is getting done by you learning about how it's not good. So you're fulfilling the purpose of that thing, learning about what you're allowed to do. So that itself, you're being mevader different things in the world on its own without going inside it. Nevertheless, you cannot compare this to the cleansing and the clarifying that's done through learning the essence of Torah. In the revealed part of Torah, at the end of the day, what are you talking about? You're talking about the physical negativity things. You're talking about parai, you're talking about the klib of Mitzrayim, you're talking about the gash negative thing. This is a descent for the Torah, that the Torah has to go down and talk about these physical, low, impure things. Nevertheless, it's still Torah, it's still Dvar Havai. It's coming down into this world, it's the Eibishter's Torah, but you're still dealing with and going into kashmistic and negative things that it's talking about. It's not so the cleansing that's done through the inner part of Torah through chadsidus became So the inner part of Torah, what is it talking about? It's called the tree of life. It's not dressed in good and bad. There's the chadsidus, which deals with bad and good. Nigla the Torah speaks about the revealed part of Torah, Gemara, Halacha, these type of things. It talks about negative things in the world. It's not so in Pnimis HaTorah that it's called the life of tree, that it does not deal with these type of things at all. It does not talk about it. It talks about the Eibishter, it talks about the Neshama, it talks about Elokus. Even if when you're talking about Pari Melech Mitzrayim, you're talking about the source of Pari, the way he's in Shamayim, where in there it's a very high, holy level. You're only dealing with holiness. So you're not getting undressed in the bed at all. So now we're going to connect all of this to this whole idea of the two periods of the days of Moshiach, to understand this difference of two ways of cleansing things. One way is to getting dressed in the bed, to go inside it, to cleanse it. Then there's a way that you're not fighting with it at all, and in this itself that you're not that, which that's the idea of learning Torah. You're in your place, but nevertheless you could be dealing and knowing about these negative things. Then there's even a deeper level of chadsidus, which that means you're only talking about a lukus. This is a very highlight that totally nullifies all the bad on its own without needing to deal with it at all. For the now we're going to go even deeper. The difference between the revealed part of Torah and the inner part of Torah. The amita in the menucha v'shalom hu davka b'pnimis haTorah. Hu lo yirak be'inyan habirurim shal limadat Torah l'gam limadat Torah gufa. So now what did we explain? We explained what's the difference between the revealed part of Torah and the inner part of Torah. What are you talking about? Are you dealing with are you talking about negative things, or you're dealing with holiness? Now that I've been saying another difference between the revealed part of Torah and Pnimis HaTorah. Another difference between chadsidus and nigla. Another difference. How the style of learning. Okay? The limit with nigla the Torah, but even the kushis with terutzim. Nigla the Torah, Gemara, or the revealed part of Torah, you're learning through asking questions, giving answers. Things are not clear. Is it like this or is it like that? He says an opinion, he says an idea, and then he proves him how it's wrong. Then you go back and forth. In the beginning, you think that how you meant to explain it so and so. And then you come to a deeper understanding. The Gemara comes to, let's say, deeper understanding and saying, no, you can't say the first way of saying it. You can't explain the pasuk like this. It can't be like that because it's deeper. It's more not like that. Until we even find in the Gemara they use the term. What you said is a joke. It's nothing. A guy says a whole svara in the Gemara, and then you say bedusehi. This is bluff. And after that, you explain even deeper. So what's going on over here? You're dealing with, sometimes he uses the term, things are bluff, things are not bluff, this, that, back and forth. This idea to exclude a previous opinion, a previous understanding. Someone says something to explain a halacha, and then you prove him how he's wrong. The term in Chazal that it's used, it's called spilling blood. It's like spilling blood. You're taking out
if you're shalel svara,
a previous svara. You're taking out the whole chayes out of something. It's like killing that svara. So what does it say about David HaMelech? It says David HaMelech dam l'reiv shafachti, he spilled a lot of blood, which means it's not peace. Shlomo HaMelech didn't spill blood. So when someone's learning Torah in a way of bringing a svara, excluding the svara, what did you just do? It's like you killed the previous svara, you took out all the blood. That's like a birur, like David HaMelech, which isn't peace. It isn't peaceful over here. This isn't tranquility. This is like spilling blood in the world of seichel, right? Imagine a guy comes with a whole theory and is explaining it, and he builds up a whole building, and then you go, and then you show him how it's wrong according to some other Gemara. So what did you just do? You just blew up this guy's building. You just killed the guy's whole whatever. That's not menucha. That's not peace. That's not tranquility. The true idea of peace is what? It's specifically in the inner part of Torah, which it says in Zohar. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, what's this idea of the inner part of Torah, the essence of the Torah, the soul of the Torah? It says, there's no questions. There's no machlekes. There's no an opinion like this, and then to take away the first opinion and say that it's balaf, it's nothing, and then no, it's peace. So what did we just explain? Now this is the way you're learning. There's what you're talking about, and then there is the way you're talking. The first thing we said, what you're talking about gashmizdika things, or you're talking about ruchanizdika things. Another difference we're saying is, are you talking in a way of killing the first svara and bringing a different svara and going back and forth, or you're just saying it without questions, without not understanding it's clear? Says the Rebbe, these two differences between Pnimis HaTorah and Nigla the Torah, in the way of learning, of asking questions and taking away the first opinion and bringing the second opinion. He has chiluk shebeinei and beidin abir shal yodam. The whole poil bidugum masay. V'lachein davke pnimis ha'Torah. Shebo atzva leis tamon lekusha v'le machlekes gava bidur shal yodo hu b'derech shalom u'menucha. Because pnimis ha'Torah itself is this level of peace, therefore the way, which means there's no questions in the learning. Everything is clear. There's no shyless. Therefore, the way it causes the birur is also in a peaceful way. In Nigla the Torah, you're going into kashvistic things. There's questions. So the Rebbe is basically saying both of these two things are connected.
He goes to the mikvah and now he's tzar, and then it turns out he sees later that day. Turns out he was never really tzar.
The Rebbe is saying the whole poil b'dugum masay. Each thing, if someone's a peaceful person, he himself is peaceful. So when he affects other things, he affects it in a peaceful way. Pnimis HaTorah itself, there's no questions. Therefore, the bitter that it causes is also in a peaceful way. It nullifies the bad and also in a peaceful way.
The whole Paul that's like
Anything that's poil is poil in it. Yeah, the whole poil b'dugmas. Anything that's causing, it makes something that's like it itself, like the causer.
its effect. It changes it based on what it is. Yeah.
Yes. So because it itself, there's no questions. Everything is menucha in pnimis HaTorah itself. Pnimis HaTorah itself is a Torah of menucha. Therefore, the bitter that it does is in a way of menucha. The bitter, the way when through someone learning pnimis HaTorah and it causes a bitter, it's also the same way of pnimis HaTorah itself. Pnimis HaTorah is b'derech menucha. So when you're learning, the bitter that it causes is also b'derech menucha. Understand? Okay. I would want to finish understanding this whole inyan to connect it to what we're saying over here about Yemaisa Moshiach. Now in Pnimis HaTorah itself, that was going deeper and deeper. First, the Rebbe is saying difference between Torah and Tefillah itself. There's a difference between. The difference between Tefillah is Melchama, Torah is Menucha. In Torah itself, Nigla the Torah is Melchama, Pnimis HaTorah is Menucha. And now we're going to explain how in Pnimis HaTorah itself, there's two levels of Menucha and Melchama and Menucha. Generally, there's also two ways of doing a birur. There's the way the Pnimis HaTorah was addressed and put and brought down and drew down, that it should be understood according to someone's seichel. The beginners who should be Pnimis HaTorah yesh nagam achshav. For this level of Pnimis HaTorah, the way it was given, that it should fit the understanding of someone's seichel, Pnimis HaTorah was given not to just be Chinese, blah 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 words, or not only words that you don't understand, but it was given in a way that someone that's learning it should understand it with the seichel, and it should affect him. It should change something in him. You shouldn't just learning some boring concept. You shouldn't just be learning. It was brought down that it should make sense. It's someone's seichel. This level of Pnimis HaTorah is now also in the time of Galus. And then there's a higher level of Pnimis HaTorah, the inner part of Torah, that it's in a way of seeing, that you see it. It's not that it comes into your seichel, that you understand, but it's a way that it's in a revealed way that you see it. This level of Pnimis HaTorah is going to be la'asud lavi in the time to come when Moshiach comes. That's the way we're going to be learning Torah. It's known that Moshiach will teach the inner part of Torah to everyone in a way of re'iyah, in a way of seeing. The chiddush, what the chiddush of Moshiach is that what's Moshe Rabbeinu got the Torah. He gave us the Torah. It says when Moshiach said to come, he's going to teach Moshe Rabbeinu Torah. He's going to teach the obvious Torah. He's going to teach all the tzaddikim. What is he going to teach to them? If Moshe got the Torah, what is he going to teach? So it's explained that he's going to teach the inner part of Torah, and this itself in a way of seeing. He's going to make the Torah is going to be revealed by Ifin Shaliriyah. It's going to be such an understanding. It's as if you're seeing it with your eye. He received it, but it wasn't a way of re'iyah, and he didn't teach it in a way of re'iyah.
Hashem didn't teach the Torah in its entirety.
He taught it to Moshe Rabbeinu, but it was hidden. What's the whole idea of Kabbalah and Drashim, Rabbi Akiva? Abishter gave everything to Moshe Rabbeinu, but it was hidden in the Torah of Mashiach, but it's all hidden. And it's not only what he's going to teach, but the way that he's going to teach. The way that he's going to teach. We have Pnimis Torah now also. We have, but Mashiach is going to teach it in a way, in such a revealed way as if you're seeing it with your eyes. He's going to make it, it's going to be so understandable in a way that you're going to see with your eyes. Now we're going to explain now, what's the difference between seeing and understanding? You can understand something, I can teach you something, and you understand it. And then there is that you're seeing something. So let's read it, we'll see right now. What's the difference between understanding something? You can learn a concept. In Pnimis, I didn't understand it very well. Then you could see it. What's the difference of learning and seeing? When someone understands something, even though it's real, you really understand it, and it's as if you see it, let's say. But if someone asks you a question and he could prove you wrong, then even whatever was so real to you, he could knock down, he could blow your whole balloon. He could take away your whole understanding. Because you can understand something, but you can understand it otherwise also. It's not so when someone sees something. Even someone's going to ask you the strongest questions in the world on what you saw. You'll not have a shadow of a doubt what you saw. If you saw a camel flying over here, you saw it with your eyes. So the guy's going to ask you 100 questions. If you can understand how it's possible for a camel to fly over here, so someone's going to ask you, well, how camels don't have wings, and camels, when was the last time there was a camel here in Hollywood? And this and that. So then you can say, okay, so it doesn't make sense. Even though maybe someone can explain it and it's going to make sense. But I'll ask you questions and I'll take it away from you. But if you see a camel flying over here, I will ask you a million questions. It's not going to change at all what you saw. That's the difference between understanding something and seeing something. When someone understands something, it's an added thing. There's you, and you can understand. I could give you some information and some knowledge. So that's an added thing to who you are. You're one thing, and the thing that you're understanding is an added thing to you. So you could take that away. But when you see something, that thing gets engraved and it becomes part of you. Therefore, no one can take it away from you. Understand? So this is the difference, the way of learning Torah in the time of Golus, the way of learning Torah in the time of Moshiach. Learning Torah in the time of Golus is in a way of Seichel. You're learning and learning and learning. You can learn that. You can learn about the Eibishter. You can learn Pnimus HaTorah. You can learn the essence.
I can integrate it a part of my soul.
You can make it, but it's still added things. It's not 100%. It's still an added thing. You can make it very real to you. And at the end of the day, if someone's going to ask you, make you crazy, and ask you enough questions and try to prove you wrong, not necessarily, you might take it away from you. You can add on something to you. You could glue it to you with crazy glue and with gorilla glue and make it very, very strong. So maybe generally it won't leave you. It will stay part of you. It will be stuck to you, but it's still not you. It's still an added thing. But then someone could engrave something into you that becomes part of you that you can't take away. So in time of Golus, you can learn and learn and learn and connect it to your real. It's going to become a part of us. That's what it means, learning Torah in a way of seeing. Yeah, it changes you. Yeah, it makes you different.
What changes? Your character, your.
But you also change when you learn Torah because you're like it's an additional thing that's added on, but it's not. It's the degree of the change, right? How much do it change you?
No, if it's integrated in you, it can never be removed from you.
Right.
Here he's saying Torah now is in the way of one of our saga. Yemeisim Mashiach it's about Finchal Re'iyah.
That passage is only including for those two things. Why should we?
Like if you glue on something to the stender, it changes the stender. But it's still an additional thing. But if you carve it into the stender, then
that is the stender itself. It is the stender itself. The stender itself has a different picture, a different form and shape because you engraved it. So the way Mashiach is going to teach Torah is in a way of seeing.
Will there be any Torah left over once Mashiach comes?
Yeah. without any gvul. It's going to be forever and ever.
What's the question? Let's say if I learned the whole Tanakh, and I know it inside out, backwards, forwards, right, left, up, down.
Yeah, can you just please pass me that cup for a second? I want to just I want to drink a cup of water. Then we're going to finish this whole pilpul over here. We're leading up to a certain explanation of the difference between the first period and the second period of the days of Moshiach. So in order to explain this, we have to bring this whole pilpul. I remember when I worked on this piece, I was thinking, do I need to bring this whole mimer? I'll just bring the last.
It's a mimer, yeah?
It's a whole mimer. That's my mouth.
So,
I was thinking just to bring the peak point of explaining the difference of the two periods, but you wouldn't understand the real difference.
Right.
According to this, that I was going to explain the difference between the two tkufis. After knowing the difference of a bitter and a way of milchama, war, and a way of peace. Through tefillah and teirah, nigla de teirah and pnimis teirah. Pnimis teirah itself, there's pnimis teirah now, pnimis teirah in the way of Moshiach. All of this is, and we're leading up to a certain point to explain the difference between the beginning of the days of Moshiach and the later stage in the days of Moshiach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol nehiyah b'dvaroi.
How long is the period of Moshiach going to be for Teis Mason?
In Medrash, I'm sorry, Zohar says 40 years, yeah.
4 years.
But it's not necessarily 40 years.
Also, I have a question. Once Teis Mason comes, will people die after the Teis Mason?
According to the Rambam, yes. According to the Ramban, and that's the psaktin of most the poskim, and according to chadsidus, says no. Everyone's going to live forever.
So according to the Rambam, you die, then you come back immediately.
No, you die. According to the Rambam, Mashiach said, "Come, there's going to be Yemaisa Mashiach, there's going to be Tcheis HaMeisim, but eventually everyone's going to end up dying." According to the Rambam.
Everyone's going to end up dying?
And go to Gan Eden, go to Elam Haba. According to the Rambam, Elam Haba is in Gan Eden, in Shamas without a guf.
The Gemara that says.
Einam Chayzim Lafram.
Yeah, no. So the Gemara answers, this is by Klal Yisrael, this is by the Goyim that are going to be there. They're going to die.
Shana Yamas is right.
Is there another Gemara that's mashma that even Yidden aren't going to die, and that's what he holds like?
He writes more. If you learn in Hilchos Tshuva over there, he says a more misvad. He says a person has to be separated eventually because it's a kuf, and it has to be disintegrated, like it can be forever. So it looks like there's going to be a nest made in the big, in Tcheis HaMeisim, whatever. But eventually, he writes in Pirish HaMishnais. He says a Mashiach Yomus, like according to the Rambam, everyone's going to eventually pass on in order to go to Gan Eden, because that's the ikir. It's not just that's the tachlis, but all the mafarshim don't like what was the
So according to
radva.
the Ramban, there's no one remaining on the world.
Rambam.
According to the Rambam, yeah.
There's no one remaining left in the world.
Eventually, yeah.
The Ramban says
Davka this world, yeah.
But then you said the Ramban also.
Not only the Rambam, and the Rambam itself, the mafarshim on the Rambam are masing on the Rambam. They don't hold it. You know, Gemara, some Midrashim and this that say otherwise.
So he said the Ramban himself also holds that eventually there's going to be an Olam Haba.
Yeah. After Tcheis HaMeisim, right. From Tcheis HaMeisim goes straight to Olam Haba, which is Neshamas Begufim.
I don't think we hold like the Rambam.
We don't. I mean, for sure. In this specific Rekuda L'Choyre, yeah. Because you see, most of them of Farshim don't. I'm saying the Ramban for sure, and all of them are Neisik Chalei Rambam, and this is what chadsidus and Kabbalah Paskins also. They say like the Ramban in this Indian. Okay, let's continue over here. So when
Teis Mason comes, no one's going to die.
You want to know bottom line? Yeah, that's the way it's going to be.
I'm 20 years old, I'm going to stay 20 years old.
No, you're going to get older and older. What do you mean? What do you mean you're going to stay 20? In your look? You're going to look like a 20-year-old? I don't think so. I don't think it says. I look
like a very, very old man that's about to die, but I'm never going to die.
You'll be healthy, but who says you're going to... You want to know if your hair is going to turn white? What's the question? People in the days of admiration or whatever, people who are living 900 years or whatever, did they look older and older and older? Yeah, it looks like...
Only Avraham Avinu.
Even Avraham Avinu, I'm saying from Adam. Yeah, okay, then it was 100 and something, I'm saying. From after the Mabul is 120, but till then, people were living many years.
I think it's going to be like before. Like
before chadsidus, for sure.
Until Avram asked Hashem to make people look old. So it's going to like before that happened. Everyone's going to look
I'm not sure, to tell the truth. This specific thing of people are going to age, if they're going to look different when they get older, I'm not sure. L'chayda, yes, but
And which body are the people?
and also what's the point of the body not changing? Especially the Rambam says so. Even in the second period that there's going to be miracles, so the miracles that they're going to be is so. Even after Tchis HaMeisim, it doesn't mean that the whole world is going to turn into a whole cholent. People are going to be, the whole world is going to just turn into a whole salad.
What does that mean?
The world is going to be a world, but there's going to be miracles.
That means salad. What do you mean to say?
It doesn't mean you're saying a guy's
case.
Tchis HaMeisim happening and people are not going to age. Why shouldn't they age? Why shouldn't they look older? What's the reason that the person shouldn't look older? Like why and why not? The guys are getting sick. You can have a healthy, you have a healthy person that's getting older and older and older.
The reason we learned was because Avram said that I want to know who to respect, who to stand up for, who to show honor to. He's like, oh, so Hashem said that's good because you want to show honor to the people that's older. So when the Chiyas Mesa comes, everyone lives indefinitely. There'll be no point because everyone's gonna be the same age. I mean, everyone's gonna be like a little bit older than me, but
you're talking about the look, not about the age. The age. Time goes, people get old. You see the look.
The reason we look old because Avram.
I have a good question. I don't know exactly what to answer you. If I personally think that I don't see a reason. I'm saying even that Rambam says. Elazar ben Azariah looked like 70 because his beard turned white, but I'm saying something else here.
In certain looking.
In looking older, right? It's more mechubit, but
no, people who are 99 that passed away are not going to come back looking 99.
They will.
Really?
Yeah.
They're going to come back.
If a guy was sick, he's going to get up sick.
Yeah.
Later on, but they're going to get up because if a guy the same way he went. That's if a guy goes in one way, then he gets up. How do you know it's the same person? Maybe it's someone else.
So
yeah.
He's gonna get back up. He's gonna be.
They're gonna get up
ill.
sick first, like that. You're gonna know it's that
So
person.
he's gonna wake up deathly ill. Then he's gonna get better.
He's gonna look deathly.
He's gonna look. If a guy was missing an arm, I don't know about, and then he's gonna get up with an arm. So not necessarily maybe it's someone else. You buried the guy one way, now the guy got up different. So maybe it's someone else. I don't know, maybe someone stole the body and put something else over here. So the same way he went, that's the way he's going to get up.
So,
and later on...
99. I want to look 99 decrepit.
Okay, you're going to live forever anyway, so don't worry about getting up and saying
why should my great-grandfather why should they look like decrepit old men?
It's going to be for a short amount of time.
I'm sure they want to look like
they're going to get up like an old person. Like that it's your grandfather or whatever. And then with the time, they're going to be healed. If he's
there's gonna be a miracle.
Want the guy?
And they're gonna change.
What to turn into a young guy? Okay, I don't see a reason. You see, each thing has its purpose. There's a purpose of Chis HaMeisim happening.
What's the
that gave schar to the person that did Torah and mitzvahs.
What does that mean to give schar?
For the body,
for the body?
Yes, the main schar, Kabbalah schar is going to be that.
Not through physical things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but you have to pay the physical body for the avodah that he did.
The resuscitation itself is the suchos that Hashem is giving?
No, after Tchiyas HaMeisim, the Eibush is going to give them schar. Now, what's the point of the guy looking young? There's a point of making Tchiyas HaMeisim to give the guy schar. There's a point of making us flying on clouds that it's just that we'll get there in a second without needing to kratz around with whatever. Everything has a reason. There's a base that's coming down from heaven.
Clouds or airplanes?
Clouds. Each thing has a reason. So what's the reason for making a guy that's going to get up looking like a 99-year-old, and then he's going to change and look like a 20-year-old? Like what's the point of such a ness?
Because he can be Makabel schar better.
When he looks like a 20-year-old, maybe he needs the. Why is the looking? Let's say it'll be energy-wise, he'll be like a 20-year-old. He'll be energized like a 20-year-old. He'll be able to jump and dance and whatever. Mm-hmm. But he'll have a white beard. So what's the point of him having a black beard?
Right.
I mean, there needs to be a.
There needs to be chalishus or whatever. So there's no.
There's a.
You get
the koyach obviously is going to get.
When you look better, your skin's nice and firm. When you're older, your skin's all like...
You're stronger when you're 30 than when you're 60, 70, whatever.
Okay, maybe... Okay, we'll look into this.
You look better when you're young. You don't look good when you're 99 and you're about to fall over.
Everyone's going to be healthy.
I know what I'm saying.
But each chidush, each nest has its purpose. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Each thing, a guy's missing an arm, so he needs an arm. So now I understand your question. You're saying the guy, you should look better. Okay, maybe that should also be a reason for that nest to happen.
Not just spiritually that our eyes are open, but also everything should also be gashmi, should be beautiful. Why not? The world is perfect. You might as well look beautiful.
Okay, let's continue learning over here. Vov. Recall Markham Ashleimith Shmazayia be Mesa Moshiach. Or be Mesa Moshiach Kufa bit Kufa base. According to all what we explained until now, that the two levels, the way you could be Mavad or something, in a way of war, in a way of peace, we can understand now why the complete idea of Potter B'Shalom being redeemed in peace is going to be in the days of Mashiach more than the way it was in the days of Shlomo, and in the days of Mashiach itself, in the second period of the days of Mashiach. Dear Shlomo.
The second period of the days of Mashiach, it's not going to, nothing needs to happen anymore. Everything to be finished.
Let's see inside.
That's when Chiyas Mesim happens.
Yeah.
The second period. What's the Chiyas Mesim? Everything is complete. Everything's shalem. Everything's perfect.
Okay, but what's happening exactly? What do you mean everything is perfect?
Everything's perfect.
How do you know? What does that mean? So here we're going to explain. What does that mean?
Everything's going to be everything's going to be done. Everything's
very
fine,
good, very good. But
only peace.
but
Everything's
what
showing perfectness. The world's going to be back to how Hashem originally intended everything.
So now we're going to what you're saying. Now we're going to explain what you're saying in a little deeper. Exactly what you're saying. Everything is going to be perfect. That's why it's going to be considered being redeemed in peace. Potter B'Shalom now is going to be then. And let's explain this.
Right.
Everything's going to be, you're saying, very good. What does that mean? Let's just explain this a little bit more. These three levels of being redeemed in peace, what are these three levels? There's been made Shlomo the way it was in the days of Shlomo. By David HaMelech was war. Shlomo HaMelech was peace. Then there's another level of peace, a higher level of peace. Betkufa Aleph de Beis Mashiach, the first period of the days of Mashiach, or Betkufa Beis, in the second period of the days of Mashiach. These three levels, this is like the three levels of being redeemed in peace in Torah. We said Torah means redeemed in peace, but in Torah itself there's three levels. There's Gali de Torah, there is Pnimis HaTorah, and in Pnimis HaTorah itself there's the way you're learning Pnimis HaTorah in your Mesa Mashiach. Yes? For you know, now we're going to explain this. Okay. There's a Shamalkas Shvo, Shometh Shema Shlema, who alidei Shishmoi, the Shem Hu Ha'ora, Nimshach V'Nispashet L'Merachakim Ad L'Eretz Shva. We said that in the days of Shlomo, the queen from Shva heard about Shlomo HaMelech. You heard Shlomo HaMelech's name, and then she came to Yerushalayim. This that you heard in his name, what does a name mean? Does a person need to have a name? Let's say there's no one in the world, and you're only one person. Do you need a name? The point of a name is to call you. Someone else should be able to call you, so he gives you a name. You have a name to call you. So a name is not connected to the essence of the person. If a name is connected to the essence of a person, then he needs a name. The point of a name is for someone else to call you. So that's just like a way to draw you. So it says the name is a ha'or. It's a light. You have a candle, so there's the essence of the flame, and then there's a light. So the name is like the outside light. What did Malkas Shvo hear? She heard the name of Shlomo HaMelech. The light of Shlomo was spread out till very far till where this queen was.
The essence of our name is Yisrael.
Yeah, so look, it says Shlomo HaMelech, the essence of Shlomo was in his place in Yerushalayim. V'Hashem Shaloi, Shem HaShlomo Nimshach V'Egiel L'Shvo. Shlomo HaMelech's name was drawn and it reached to such a far place as the place of Shvo, and therefore, just like a light, the further the light is, the light gets smaller and smaller and less. So the light of Shlomo went very, very far, got very, very small, and therefore she heard about Shlomo HaMelech. So first of all, what reached Malkas Shva? Only his name, and a small light reached very far. And so too, regarding also the Bitter Gufa, what happened to Malkas Shva? She came to Shlomo HaMelech, and then what? Here we're saying over here, so too, it wasn't enough that she heard about Shlomo HaMelech to make her become, bottled to Shlomo HaMelech, to become nullified, except Shlomo HaMelech. She needed to leave her place and come all the way to Yerushalayim. Going from Yerushalayim, from Shva, the place of Shva.
What is Shva? I think it's in Africa or something, no?
So it could be, yeah.
That's what I was thinking, right?
If we come from there to Yerushalayim,
That's what I thought.
takes time. It's work, which means she heard Shlomo HaMelech's name. It awakened her to come to Shlomo HaMelech. But it takes time till she gets to Yerushalayim and gets cleansed and clarified through Shlomo HaMelech. But and only after that, this brings about this birur, which means that you're dealing with someone else. You're dealing with someone that's not like you, and you have to go down there, and so you're not. So Shlomo HaMelech is not going down; he's staying in his place. That's the idea of limud Torah, that you're in your place. You're not engaging with the nefesh habahamis. Nevertheless, what does the nefesh? Yes. In this case, how does? But nevertheless, so you're in your place. Shlomo HaMelech is in his place. You're learning Torah. You're here. So you're light when you're learning Torah. It goes down to the nefesh habahamis and it lights him up. You're not going down to the nefesh habahamis to deal with him like by tefillah. You're in your place. You're learning Torah, but a very small light goes down, and it takes time till you affect the nefesh habahamis. You're provided him. This is not so regarding the way the bitter that's done in Yemei Mashiach. What's done in Yemei Mashiach? Then when Mashiach's going to come, even in the beginning of the days of Mashiach.
So I'm sorry, the whole thing of Shva, that's like connected Nigla Torah, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
The tkuva ashneya hu shaz yiyah gili oir chodosh shlo yeheir kodim hatzimtzum. In the second period of the days of Mashiach, it's going to be revealed a whole new light that was never shining even before the tzimtzum. Before the 6 days of creation, what was here? It was only Hashem Himself. It was just Hashem Himself. Then there was a tzimtzum. The Eibishter, there was no room to put a world over here. So the Eibishter needed, so to speak, and be metzamtzam his light, to make his light smaller, to put his light on the side. This is the words Kabbalah uses. He put his light on the side and he made a dark place. And now you can make a world. So in the first period of the days of Mashiach, the Eibishter is going to bring back in the world that light that was already here. So the world is going to be here, and the light that was shining before is going to come back. The second period of the days of Mashiach is not only you're going to bring back the light that was here, you're going to reveal a whole new light. It's going to be Oir Chodosh.
So we're going to experience more of Hashem than we haven't experienced before?
What?
We experience more of Hashem than we have not ever experienced?
Yeah. Even more than what was shining before the world was created.
More of a revealed glory of Hashem.
Yes. Let's continue over here 1 second. The revelation of the light of God that was shining before the Tzimtzum is going to be revealed in the first period of the days of Mashiach. It's back inside. The first period is going to be revealed. What?
So it'll be like above things like time and space?
God is above time and space. God's going to be revealed. Even now, someone could
connect. Not going to bring us above the concept of time and space.
No, not at all. But wait a second. The first period of the days of Mashiach is going to be revealed the light of the Eibishter. That's unlimited. That was shining before this tzimtzum, before this contraction of the light.
Hashem's going to let us fly, so Hashem's going to bring us over the concept of gravity. So won't be any more gravity. But there'll be gravity, but Hashem will bring us over gravity.
No, we're going to be down here. We're going to be down here.
Still going to be the...
Maybe they get to Yerushalayim. Maybe that's going to be for a few seconds. We're going to fly there very fast.
We're all going to be flying.
No, not the whole day and the whole time. And we're not going to be malachim. We're not going to be birds. That's whatever. Maybe it's later on or something else. But simply we're learning, okay, we're not... The beginning of the days of Mashiach is going to be revealed the light of the Eibishter that was shining before the world was created.
It's going to be like the natural world, yeah? The natural world.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It won't be first.
Okay, let's continue. This light that was shining before the contraction, before the tzimtzum, this light shines everywhere evenly, which means by Shlomo HaMelech, he was in Yerushalayim, and Malka's Shva was in Shva, and we said only a light, his name, a small little ray, reached to that place. But in the first kufa of the days of Moshiach, is going to already be revealed the light of the Eibishter that is unlimited, that was shining before the Tzimtzum. So this is going to make, this is an even light everywhere. It's not like you're going to need to come to Yerushalayim and only, who knows how much later, let's say it took her a month to get from Yerushalayim. So right away, all over the whole entire world evenly. Ki'im shaha'oir k'may shahu yoir b'chol makim shalachein az epich al'amim k'may shahin b'mitziusam uvim kaimim gamer kulam gamer love dishachem echad. When Moshiach said, what's going to be the difference between the days of Shlomo and the first period of the days of Moshiach? In the days of Shlomo, she couldn't become bottled to Shlomo only after she came to Shlomo. Because where was the light of God revealed? Only where Shlomo HaMelech was, not in the place of Shva. Only a little ray of light, his name went there, and she needed to come, and it took time. It was a long time, and when Moshiach said to come, the light of the Eibishter is going to be revealed all over the whole entire world, evenly. So it says in Tzfanya, that when Moshiach said to come, the Rambam says also, the Rambam says, which the Rambam, in general,
so all the evil's going to be bottled immediately when Moshiach comes.
The light of the Eibishter will be revealed all over the whole entire world evenly. You're Mashiach now. The first period.
So when Mashiach comes, everything's going to be bottled immediately?
The light of God is going to be revealed all over the whole entire world. And therefore, all the Goyim...
So the evil's not going to be bottled.
So now we're talking about the Goyim over here. So all the Goyim and all the Goyim, wherever they are. For example, what's the difference between Malka and Shva in the time of Shlomo and Mashiach? But Malka and Shva, whoever that is, when Mashiach is going to come right away, they themselves, wherever they are, will change. And they'll accept Mashiach. The Rambam brings this pasuk. The Rambam says that the Goyim all over these random far off islands, wherever they are going to change. Miyad, the lotion of the Rambam is miyad. Miyad heim kulam chayzrim. V'yoydeim shesheker nachal lavi seyim.
What's going to be different? It's going to be like there's a light that there's going to be a light that is, what kind of light is this?
This is not a physical light, right?
It's like a sense, like a feeling?
Spiritual feeling, yeah. So this will be all over the whole entire world, evenly. The whole world. So wherever they are, they're going to change to serve Hashem completely. Because this part, the Rambam brings this pasuk, and the Rambam is talking about the first period of the days of Mashiach. And the Rambam says this pasuk is going to be fulfilled even then. This is because this unlimited level of light, there's a light of God that's like a limited light, and there's an unlimited light. Unlimited means it's everywhere, evenly. And this is what's going to be revealed even in the beginning of Mashiach. And in this itself, there's a difference between the first period and the second period of the days of Mashiach. In the first period of the days of Mashiach, there will not be any change in the creation of the world, where they should created the world. That's the same way the world is going to be. Which that's going on. Which level of godliness is going to be revealed? I believe So the light of God is going to be revealed, but it's not going to penetrate the world, because the world is going to continue running the same way. The Rambam says it's a revelation of an unlimited light of God, which is shining everywhere, but it's not becoming part of the world. What did we say? What's the difference between learning Pnimis HaTorah now and in the Mesa Mashiach? Now it's in a way of seichel. It's a way of avon of asaga. What's the idea of seichel and avon of asaga? That it's an added thing. There's you, and then there's what you're learning about, which is coming added to you. It's not coming part of you. So too, the first period of the days of Mashiach is going to reveal the light of God, but it's an added thing to the world. It's not going to become a part of the world. It's not going to be engraved in the world and the world itself.
How is
Therefore, it's not going to change. Look what he says. Therefore, the revelation of God to all the different creations and their bittul to Hashem is going to be an added thing to their existence. They exist, and you're adding a revelation of God everywhere. Like we explained before, when someone's understanding Pnimis HaTeira, it's an added thing to him. Therefore, it's possible to weaken it. Like we said before, you could take away a svara, something that someone understands. But in the second period of the days of Moshiach, this is like learning Torah in a way of re'iyah. What did we say? What does it mean that you're seeing something? When you see something, it's coming a part of you. Therefore, you cannot take it away from a person. This is going on the second bit of the days of Moshiach, that it says that there's going to be a change, a chidush in Ma'aseh Bereshis. The world itself is going to change. The teva is going to change. This means that the revelation of God is not going to be an added thing to the world. Rather, this is going to be a part of the world, a part of the teva of the world, a part of the world itself. Okay.
So it's not just because of the gili of Hashem. It's also the
gila of the Eibush that is going to become part of the world itself. It's going to be
the chiddush, how it's going to become part of the.
It's going to be revealed, the godliness that's in the things, not an added level that and the world and the lokos is still like two separate things. Rather, it's going to penetrate, and it's going to be revealed. The vel dalein is the way the world itself is a lokos. And therefore, that's going to change the type of the world. There's going to be tcheis hamesim. There's going to be miracles, because this is the lokus that's going to be rooted. Is going to change the teva of the world itself. It's going to become part of the teva of the world. So the world is not going to stay.
No, I guess only for a certain time.
That's the first period. That's like learning now that you're adding on. So on one hand, you're to unlimited level. It's everywhere, but it's an added unlimited level. So it's not the world itself.
And this is still Yemos Mashiach, not even.
This
we're not even
is
talking about Olam Haba.
Right. Olam Haba is a whole Goran Andere Indian.
What does it say about there?
Olam Haba, you see, even in the Ma'aseh Mashiach, the second period is what? That there's going to be a shidduch v'chiddush b'Ma'aseh Bereshis, but there's a Ma'aseh Bereshis. There's a world that the Lakus is going to become part of the world. If I understand correctly, I could be wrong, but Olam Haba is already like the level of Chad Charuv. That means like destruction means that's like a mamish, a complete bittul. You don't see, it's a kamayim lo yom machasim. You don't see anything but the water. Okay.
Wow.
Take of a yad mamish amin ken yiratzin.